Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Final matchup of the night here on Alpha Channel. Once again, my name is Morgan Dunt, and I am joined by the lovely Cambert. Cam, we are back here for game number 3, and it's looking like it might be a good one.
It certainly does. Take a little break, get a little salad wrap in me, some food, get some fuel. We're back and ready to go, Morgan. And it's the one where it's tough to pick one of these two teams, both undefeated. We're looking at some of those stats, and I don't know if those are, I have to think they're accurate, but I saw an 8 KD, I think an 8 kill death ratio on one of these players. So I don't know what to expect out of this one.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely accurate, even though they are crazy. Matchup here for the last one of the night is Rutgers Black taking on New Jersey Institute of Technology Red. Rutgers sitting at 3-0 and currently the 16 seed in the power rankings. And NJIT not up there in the top 25, but they are 2-0 and their players have been slaying out of their minds. So really, it just seems like this is going to be a high octane game. It is going to be very fast. Is going to be very Slayer heavy, and I'm excited for all of the highlights that tends to bring.
No doubt. Definitely going to have some highlights in this one. It's the same maps we actually saw at the beginning of the stream tonight. Another Garrison hardpoint to start. And it's one where if both of these teams are high-powered up and down the rosters, we're going to get to see it on full display. The ARs can have their free reign to run around the map and get kills off these head glitches, use these head glitches to their advantage. And the submachine gun players as well are going to have a lot of fun with those routes and those nooks and crannies that we were talking about earlier on in the night. A lot of places to hide. And we saw OSU and the ability to get out behind enemy lines as those submachine gun players be snakes, be rats, just throwing those wrenches in the side of your opponent's setup and just being a nuisance, I guess, if you're one of those submachine gun players. So big.
Yeah, and now we already are good to go. Map number 2 ran long, so these players were ready to load in. It is time for game number 3 on stream. Rutgers Black versus NJIT Red here. Garrison for the hard point. And we said it earlier. Actually, we said this was a map where really the SMGs could shine, but it was taken over by an AR player. I'm going to be interested to see if a similar thing happens here between these squads, if it's their riflers that really get off hot early.
Yeah, the submachine gun players certainly have a lot to do on this map. They can run around and play those routes like we're talking about, but the ARs as well are going to be equally as important. A lot of head glitches, a lot of power positions, top green, top floating tank, so many, too many to name. As we get into map 1, we're already seeing some of the action unfold, and it's Rutgers Black with a slight advantage here, but we know P1 can be pretty mixy.
Yeah, and real quick, do roster rundown for the two teams. You got Rutgers Black on your top left. That is going to be Red Hybrid, Quantic, and Liu Kane going up against NJIT Red, which is Zebus, Money G, Locks, and JT Speed. Already, New Jersey has pushed their way back onto hill number 1, but that's been a gift to them. Rutgers really giving it up early so they can set up on this power hill number 2, and it's a very difficult retake for NJIT right now.
Yeah, this P2 hill we talked about earlier on tonight, so important to rotate early for this one, get a good setup in place because it becomes so hard to break through top green. And right now, Liu Kane is going to be in a really important position back bricks to hold down the long route. And you see a couple players who are getting set to push out of top green. They're just not going to have a lot of success. It's so difficult to push out of that little doorway. So all the gunfire from Quantic right now, who's the one laying down the bullets, putting the flak down. The lead start to change here. Rutgers Black already starting to jump out a little ahead.
Yeah, and this is kind of surprising early on as Quantic jumps out to a 7-1 start. He was actually the member of Rutgers that had the lowest KD up until this point. It's Liu Kane that has been rocking an 8.0 KD on the hard point until now. He is the guy I expect to pop off as time goes forward. On NJIT's side, it is a rough going here in the early moments. Zebus 0-6, JT Speed 1-5, and Liu Kane really starting to heat it up with this 5-kill streak near the back. His teammates pushing forward to try and rotate over hill number 3, but it seems like NJIT will be the first squad there. They have to hold against the onslaught RU's about to bring through the center.
No doubt. Anytime you see a goose egg on the leaderboard, that's never a good sign. You want to get rid of that as soon as possible. Zebus probably doing everything in their power to do that. But you're right. I mean, you look at the disparity between the leaderboards, 10-3, 8-2, 3-4, 4-1, compared to some negative scores on the other side. And again, we're seeing Rutgers back with the rotation and the setup on this hill. They just got about 60 seconds on P2. Body shooting comes in from Wops early into this one.
That's interesting, Locke, seeing as you're the only member of your team positive right now, and your guys are down, but maybe that's a little kick in the pants NJIT need to get moving back into this game. Hybrid around the backside is going to pick up Zebus as his squad is already set up over by P4. You see the rotations coming across as Money G is going to try and find himself in a firefight there around the corner, but Quantic waiting for him. Already an artillery strike in the back pocket is going to go down, and we're only a 21-point difference, but I still feel like RU Black is still very much in the lead right now. Rutgers feeling it early. They have the slaying power, and Luke Kane is pushing his way up in that KD.
Yeah, no doubt. Anytime you have a streak that on this map especially, we talk about that P2 hill, how difficult it is to break. That streak is going to come in huge if you need it. Money G right now trying to hold down the second half of this hard point, doing everything possible, hanging out low trash, get that reload off, and nobody really there to contest, so he's just going to go and hang out as Luke Kane is putting down the firepower over by P1. That's a huge kill. Just playing the rotations really, really early for Rutgers Black as NJIT, despite the slaying disadvantage, have brought themselves back into this game. Saw a lot of scrap time earlier on tonight being crucial. Again, here you see where, I mean, you can get those last 20 seconds, and I like the way you think of it too, Morgan. It's not necessarily even scrap time. It's still 1/3 of the hill. Time is time, right? If you can soak it up, go ahead and take it.
Yeah, and I mean, NJIT are getting back in this right now. Lox is still sitting positive. Some of his teammates trying to creep up. Even Zebus has gotten onto the board finally. Right around the corner, going to pick up the first one onto Zebus. Almost gets the turnaround onto JT Speed, but not quite quick enough with those shots. Quantic sitting alive, has that artillery strike in the back pocket, but not really a good kill to use it on here. And 4 quick kills in favor of New Jersey. They're gonna wipe Rutgers and get some more time in their favor. Still 30 seconds here on P5. They have the spawns going back over to P1. This game is not nearly done yet, despite Rutgers coming out very hot.
No, not at all, and it's tied up. And to retake the lead right now, and it's just back and forth. Both of these teams continuously flooding the hill, throwing bodies on the line, and both just slaying it out back and forth. I mean, we saw those great starts for Rutgers Black in the KD department, but now it's starting to even out a little bit. Lucain still 17-9, but most players, even if not even negative. So this one has really turned into be a great matchup. And both of these teams undefeated, right? Nobody wants to lose this one. They're putting everything on the line. You can see it.
Yeah, it's kind of turning into Lox versus Lucain here. 17-9 for the Rutgers member. 17-10 for NJIT's top guy as Zebus gets the kill on top of the bridge. Immediately going to get traded back by a nice double there out of red. That opens up the space. And for Rutgers Black now, they went for an early rotation over to P2 last time. They're currently spawning inside of P2. They have the map how they won it. New Jersey has to be very careful to not give this game away after fighting back into it.
Yeah, in the second set of rotations here again, P2 going to be really, really important. But you're seeing Red continue to go on a streak. And really the bottom part of the middle of this map is a submachine gun player's playground, really. I mean, there's so much you can do with your movement and all these little nooks and crannies you can hide in, these little corners. You're seeing Red there taking full advantage of that. Was on a streak, finally fell. And, I mean, you look at the rotations. This time, NJIT are going to have to be the ones breaking, and they're trying to do it through green, which is not typically the way to get things done. You're seeing it there. Hybrid just picks him up as they come through. All the kills falling in place, and it's just such a difficult hill to break through the front. You got to take those long routes, try to break it through the back, hit the brick. I mean, anytime you're flooding through green, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, that position right behind the satellite is so difficult to deal with, and you saw it there as Hybrid picks himself up a triple kill. Now up on the stairs, Lucain and Hybrid pick up 2, 1 traded back, but Hybrid is still alive, and Lucain is still helping him out. 22-9 now for the lead Slayer in the lobby, a 5-kill streak, and I actually don't know if he has his streaks on or not, because they're not there in the bottom right, but I guess you don't need them when you're slaying at this level. Gonna start that push towards the backside, try and rotate over to P3, but this is where NJIT need to hold on to. If they give up this flank, if they give up the spawns going into P3, the game is going to slip away from them. So much pressure on holding on to the next power hill.
Yeah, and you see what happens when you die rotating to that flag. I think it's number 7 on your mini-map who ends up spawning out all the way at the lights so far away. This time it's number 4 for Rutgers Black on your mini-map spawning out. If you can keep those back spawns, you're obviously going to be in a much more beneficial position. As we see Rutgers Black continuing to try to push out. It's just so difficult because of all these different holds from NJIT. They're doing a really, really good job, and a lot of it has to do with speed at the front of this hill, holding down Dark. Red's about to be the next one up. We'll see if he can get some help from Money G. He will actually fall all up to JT at the front of this hill to hold it on, and another big kill from Red. That could really open things up for Rutgers Black.
Yeah, when you start to look at the time, they are at 194. One good break could be the difference for Rutgers Black to take this game home, but for NJIT, Lox is still hot, and JT Speed has met up with them. They are playing up to the level of their opponents. You are really seeing here, and the execution comes through. Lox, where did you come from? Luke Kane gets embarrassed in the back of the map, and that could really be a momentum swing. JT Speed is already over to P4. It is a 23-point difference, but New Jersey are showing they came to play.
From the shadows comes Lox with the execution, and I hope that when the season goes on, we can start to see some different animations. That's kind of the one you see most times, but anytime you're pulling on an execution in a hard point, that is just going to embarrass your opponent, and he certainly did that on the biggest scale, on the Alpha stream here, on the CCL. You have to feel for anybody getting executed in a moment like that, but Lox 24-17, really putting things together for NJIT as this continues to be a nail-biter down the stretch. NJIT clawing their way back into this one whatever way they can, getting some more of this hill time. Lox holding down the B platform. Another kill comes in for him, make it a two-piece. This is really going to come down to this P5 hill, which can be so mixy. Huge kill from Red there, though, to pick up this final 10 seconds on P4.
Yeah, big kill by Red. He's going to keep the lead in front for his squad. A good contest here in the final moments by Money G to keep the game close, but it is all coming down to P5. And right now, NJIT are going to be the first team there, pushing forward through the center. Both Hybrid and Luke Kane get knocked down in quick succession. Quantic going to be the next one to fall. Red goes down as well. But all of a sudden, where did Hybrid spawn out back here? They thought they had spawns on the left side of the map, but Call of Duty said no, and Zebus has to wait for his team to give him a little bit more support. No one on Hill 5 right now, but very close for both teams. 26 seconds for Rutgers Black, almost 30 seconds now for NJIT Red, and they are in on the site. They have the time to pick it up. Next set of respawns coming through right here, right now. JT Speed right around the corner, gonna get knocked down by Hybrid as he continues to push forward. Money G in a very difficult 1v2, gets pinched on, and the other direction are you gonna try and find it. Lox with a big kill. 3 quick ones for NJIT Red, and we got at least one more hill in front of us.
We're going to be heading to another set of rotations. Both of these teams just continue to pile onto the hill at this point. Throw all the strategy out the side and just start running to the hill. Throw your body on the time and hope that you can come out with this Hybrid. That's a huge two-piece to start things off here. And the kill feed continues to light up Red. Now, will Rutgers Black know which side they're spawning on? You can see it on your mini-map. The spawns coming in. They're all coming from Caution. And Hybrid is in the right spot on this contest. All they need is about 7 more seconds, 5 more seconds. Luke Kane continuing to pick up kills. Here comes the contest from JT Speed. Red's there to pick up the kill, and they continue to get this time, and it looks like Rutgers Black is going to hang on to win this game. NJIT, you give them credit, they fought back in that one, but it just wasn't enough. In the end, Rutgers Black take map 1.
The classic too little too late. NJIT really putting pedal to the metal there in the final moments. They had the lead coming out of that second P5, but just were not in position. And when Quantic came in big, cleared out everyone on that hill, it is such a long rotation and a hard hill to break. There is just nothing left they could do. Great map going to both teams, and this one already feels like it has the possibility of going the distance.
I mean, how could you not love that, right? It gets to that point where it's 230, and you can see that teams have completely thrown out setups, thrown out rotations. It's all about just getting to the hill and continuing to pile on the bodies. Who can win the trades? Who can win the gunfights? You saw it there as things got hectic. It was Rutgers Black who had the poise, who had the composure in those moments to hang on and get the win. They got the lead at the start there. You got to give NJIT a lot of credit to fight back in that game. You didn't necessarily have a lot of the rotations in your favor, but still to get some of those breaks to bring it back to where it was, you got to give them a lot of credit, and it helps going into map 2, right? The momentum not too heavily in favor of Rutgers Black. You still have to feel pretty good going into map 2.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to call back to it one more time. Shout out to Lox, just sneaking into the back of the spawns there to find an execution in the middle of a respawn mode. You never see that happen. Got to finish it off and bring a highlight to the stream. As you say, though, we are going into the SND, and it is going to be Moscow yet again. Interestingly enough, in Game 1 on stream tonight, we saw a lot of hits over to the B side of Moscow, something, at least personally, I have not seen teams doing a lot. Do you think these guys are going to follow in those footsteps and really put focus to the bottom side of Moscow?
I certainly hope so. I think that's probably my favorite part. whole thing is getting to see what strategies teams employ and how confident they are in them and the timing of when they pull them out. I think it was Proper was just talking about it in the last game. So these are all college students, and maybe from an adult perspective, college kids are too young and naive, and we don't know what we're thinking, whatever. But I mean, these guys are dedicating themselves to Call of Duty. It's interesting to see what they really have in their bag of tricks, and they get to pull it out on the big stage here. It really is a lot of fun, and I do think it's a risk reward thing, right? If you're gonna go to B, yeah, it might not be your more comfortable bomb site or the one that you're more used to seeing, but it's probably the unexpected one for the opponent. They're not going to be ready for it, and you can take advantage of that at times. And again, I just think it's the risk reward factor that's so fun to watch.
Yeah, but we have seen what happens when the team is prepared for it. In our first game, I don't remember the player, but someone on the side of OSU laying down underneath the bus stop with an AR, just melting through the push down there at the bottom side. It's a high risk reward probability. If no one's there on the defense, it can be a very clean take and very difficult retake, but it just takes one man there waiting in the correct position to shut it down completely. I think that's why a lot of people are liking Moscow as an SND's map. It is just very versatile in where you can go. You can go straight to A, you can go through the bottom to B, or you can take control of the middle of the map, and everywhere has the opportunity for things to just kick off and blow up in an instant. We saw some moments of that earlier. I would love to see it again.
I think it was Cynical who was playing that bus stop.
There it is.
Public transportation guy loves those bus stops, is laying down with that cheeky angle. And I mean, we're talking about the push over towards B, which I love to see it. I always think it's a lot of fun to watch how teams employ that strategy. I also think maybe not to perfection, we didn't see it so much, but a strategy as well can be the fake over towards B, or you show a presence towards that street side, like you might go B, and as soon as you get players from the other team to start rotating back, that's when you go ahead and switch it back up and go over to A. Maybe then you have the life advantage in your favor. You can try to win those trades and take control of the bomb site. I think plays like that are underutilized a lot of times. Like we saw whatever the team was hiding over by A, maybe waiting until later in the round to make their push, and I think it was sought out by Rush of OSU. And it didn't work, but I don't necessarily hate that as a strategy. Like I like to see that kind of thing where it's really big brain thinking, alpha brain plays that maybe other teams aren't expecting. I think though, I mean, and especially if you feel like you don't have the gunplay advantage, that's how you're going to win rounds, right? You need to outthink your opponent if you can't beat him with raw skills. So I think those kind of things are always a lot of fun to see, and it's Search and Destroy is a game mode that offers that opportunity. I think that's what makes it so great.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at these player stats, I have an interesting one to run by you. Most of the NJIT players have a better KD when they jump into the Search and Destroy, where RU Black are actually all kind of fall off. They all go down from their hardpoint KD to their SND KD. So Rutgers may be more of a respawn team where NJIT are much more comfortable on that Search and Destroy. And that really lends to them picking this map back up, tying it going into map number 3, and maybe having a chance to steal away the control.
It's totally a thing, right? I mean, you can be just a straight up gun. Like all you are good for is jumping around corners and taking challenges. And then you can also be a big brain player who understands Search and Destroy. I think a lot of the professionals come from Search and Destroy.
We're into the game, though, my man. We're jumping in already. It's round number 1, and there's an attack over by A here from the Rutgers Black side. Initial kill going to go for Zebus down onto red, but the defense is in set for NJIT. They need to get one back as Luke Kane slides around the corner, and Money G going to follow it up behind. Some shots down, finds the kill. All of a sudden, we're left in the 2v1. NJIT up and ahead, and Luke Kane alone knocked down first round in New Jersey.
Kind of what we're expecting, right? The push over towards A, and as I keep saying, I'll say it again, it almost turns into team deathmatch with no respawns. Just absolute killing is all that matters. Might as well not even pick up the bomb at that point, but a really good showing there from Rutgers NJIT in the first round to pick up the win. And I mean, in a lot of Search and Destroys, a lot of maps, defense is going to be the easier side. You're expected to win your defenses more. I don't know that Moscow is necessarily even that kind of map. If you can be good at A, like if you're comfortable and confident pushing out and challenging a lot of these positions, A can just be a walk in the park really on offense, and we'll see how things change up as we switch sides.
Yeah, but sometimes if you push in at the perfect moment, it can pay off. Here comes Quantic. Red gonna take 2 kills away from him, but busts out the pistol to finish it off. And if you blink, you might have missed it. Rutgers Black back onto the board. We're tied 1-1.
Why waste any time, right? I mean, these guys are just getting right to it. They understand that it's all about the egos over here at A, just taking these challenges, and Red there with the play of the game, picking up a few with that Krig. That can be pretty important at A as well. Those long sight lines coming in big. It's just going to be a matter of which one of these teams wants to make the push to B first, right? I mean, A has worked out for both sides, so you got to probably continue to that. But still, when you're going to catch your opponent off guard if you decide to go to B.
Yeah, here we go into round number 3, and it's gonna be Rutgers making another A-side push. So this is more of what I expected today, and this meta was just kind of shook up in the first game of the evening. Monkey G gonna take this position right behind, and Quantic gonna go down to his own trophy system. The barrage of grenades sent over the top do enough damage. Jeebus makes the second one, and we're left into a 4v2. Rutgers off of this, thinking about backing up, thinking about rotating, but Liu Kane is in no man's land here behind the pillar. Locke's going to start pushing forward as well, and a difficult hole to dig yourself out of now if you're Rutgers.
It looks like the push will continue to be at A as Liu Kane jumps out. That's a ridiculous challenge. Picks up the kill on Zebes, and it's already a 2v2, but I don't see why not even rotate to B, or at least think about it. But it looks like they're going to go ahead and commit to A. Liu Kane continues to push up. No fear whatsoever in this man. Locke's going to back up. That's a very smart play. Go ahead and play the life. Start to play the time. Force a plant. You don't have to necessarily play the kills if you're on defense. Liu Kane continues to just look at these sight lines. Locks, though, going to get some help from a teammate, and the team fire is there. All up to Red. Do they know that Red is in this corner, though? Might have a chance to make a play. The slow peek comes in. JT Speed, though, is ready for it, and NJIT will pick up that round. You get the life advantage. You play it smart. You know you're on defense. Back up. Let the fight come to you. It's exactly what they did, and they pick up the round.
Yeah, they did lose the life advantage there for a moment, though, and I was starting to wonder if maybe they had let the round slip away, but you called it out. A very good team 2v1 firefight that Locks cleaned up. That gave it back to themselves, and the 2v1 is just so much harder to play than a 4v2 because everyone knows where the last guy is, and one good pinch will be the end of it. Now, as New Jersey comes in from the attacking side, A yet again returning into a broken record. These teams, they are committed that they are the better squad over by the escalators, and they want to prove it. 3-man peak for Rutgers gets challenged by Zebes. Locks, double kill for NJIT, and all of a sudden, they're looking for a flawless round, taking A beautifully.
I absolutely love it. Both of these teams just trying to show off their firepower. They're flexing the guns as you see the 4-0 sweep from NJIT that time. Why go to B, right? If you're so confident at A, just keep on sending it there, and it's coming down to what I keep talking about. Which team is more confident in winning their gunfights, taking the challenges? That time, Money playing the hard angle, and it pays off. But it's a lot of fun to watch these teams go to A. I mean, if you're gonna feel comfortable with it and it's what you want to do, go ahead and do it, right? I mean, we're gonna watch it and we're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, so I mean, right now it's kind of coming through with how the stats were looking for us on the side of NJIT. They are doing much better here on the search and destroy, and Rutgers specifically hybrid. You talked about goose eggs earlier. He is still rocking 1 through 4 rounds. Needs to find a way onto the board, but an interesting setup from the teams right now. Very patient on both sides. Rutgers have the bomb up towards A, but they are clearing out and gaining a lot of information on the bottom of the map, opening up that possibility of a rotation.
Finally, a break in the action to kind of see what these teams want to do with this setup, around that they're going to actually take slow for once. You see the bomb carrier still at A, heavy presence starting to show up at B with the players on your minimap. And the first challenge comes in. It's JT Speed picking up that kill. First blood so crucial in search and destroy, especially when you're on the offensive side of things. And you have to think that maybe the plan here is to show a presence toward B, wait for the rotations, and then one there, your bomb carrier in red, might try to push in and make a plant. There's no one home at A if he wants it right now. You just see a couple of these players for Rutgers Black start to figure out what they want to do with this round.
Yeah, they're going to just meet up in the middle of the map and actually turn it back over towards B, which I think is a good choice looking at where everyone's met up. There was no one directly on the site, but 2 members of Rutgers over there. Now here comes the shot from behind, though. NJIT going to find it. Locks the first one in. Locks just leaving a present on the corner. And another amazing round. New Jersey has just continued to find themselves time and time again in the lead, and now 3 straight 4 rounds for themselves. They are looking very good here on map 2.
Yeah, I think that's back-to-back sweeps all across the board there where nobody dies. But I will say we saw a score like this earlier tonight. It was 1-4 in that match that we did to start things off, and it was OSU OSU, the Ohio State, who ended up winning 5 straight. So if you're Rutgers Black, don't feel like this one's over just yet. You're still in this one. We saw it earlier tonight. I have to think it could happen again.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. Wrong hole when I took a drink of water. Now we have another push. I mean, it's these initial parts of the round, they're getting so hard to call because it's the same direction every single time. NJIT won a challenge over by A. They've barely even looked at the bottom side of the map, except for Zebus covering the cross, looking for Liu Kane here in a very close set of timings. Liu Kane is going to finally spot him out, see if either member can find a head. Some damage comes through, and it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade on these teams. Left in the 3v3 situation, Red gets the man advantage back over for Rutgers Black. JT Speed trying to find that bomb, picks it up, moves behind the pillar. He is going to fall as well. And finally, Rutgers have a little bit of momentum for themselves.
The battle of the head glitches right now, which I guess is what Call of Duty can be. Locks, that's a huge kill. Now makes it a 1v1. Has to go grab the bomb. 27 seconds on the clock, and these players might meet up at the escalators. Here comes the gunfight, and Locks will win it, make it a 1v2. And his team is just one round away from evening up this series.
Oh, that is just painful, Rutgers. You had it. You finally got yourself a man advantage. It was the 2v1 and just challenging too soon to find that last guy. You have to make sure you are challenging from both directions, same time, have no even opportunity for the man to turn 2 kills. Locks is 10-2 right now, and his team is looking to finish it off in a 6-1 scoreline.
Ox 10-2 and Hybrid 0-6. You know, whenever there's a player with a goose egg like this, I think it's just time to just bring out those ratty plays, right? Hide in a corner, hope somebody walks by you for a free kill. Do anything you can to help your team out, or at least just try to be some bait. As we see another push over towards A. That is not going to help if your Quantic goes ahead and nades himself. Hybrid's going to pick up a kill, though. That'll help to even up the score at 3 apiece. JT Speed will knock another life off of Rutgers Black, and it's really looking like a tough round win here if you're Rutgers Black. Still have to plant the bomb, still have 3 players to think about. Red right now playing this corner might be in a position that the other team doesn't know about, but it's Liu Kane right now who's spotted out, and we see the streaks come in. Locks 10-2, cruise missile comes down, couple more trades, and NJIT will go ahead and call that one a map win. 6-1. We're not going to have the reverse sweep that we saw earlier on tonight in 5 straight rounds. This one is over with. NJIT will tie up the series.
I mean, I'll admit a little bit closer there in the final moment as JT Speed needed to win a 2v1. Locks caught himself realizing that the cruise missile is not that great on Moscow because there's skyscrapers blocking your point of view, and he got taken down. An exciting moment in the final seconds as JT Speed clutches it up. And how many rounds was that Rutgers could have taken out a win, and just individual play on the search and destroy saves it for New Jersey?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Just some of those moments were just not managed well. You get in a 1v2. You're right when you said it during the game. You have to trade that out. If your teammate's going to fall, you have to be there for the trade. But I think Rutgers is still confident. You know, they seem to be a respawn team. We talked about those KDs and how they get better for NJIT as they go into search and destroy. Rutgers was pretty dominant in map 1. They're just going to go ahead and leave that one in the past. Focus up on the control. We're back to respawn. It's going to be raid control, which is very exciting, I think. One of the maps where you can really win on offense or defense. It really opens things up and provides opportunities for both sides. We'll see exactly what Rutgers do and how they bounce back from a loss in map 2. I think they're going to maintain their confidence, and they should bounce back in map 3.
Yeah, I mean, what I really love about raid for the control is how you can make a play on either site and then get a very aggressive rotation to the opposite way. Sometimes it's just like the defensive squad gets their feet tangled up and they can't guard both bombs or both control sites. Really what I think is favored here is to pick up the B side first, the pool sites first, and then rotate back over to the statue. But you can attack it in all sorts of ways, just like you said. So it tends to lead itself to exciting moments, especially in the final seconds of these rounds. Is often very close between the squads, and I would like to see this one go the distance. 2 teams that have been very closely matched until this point, and really NJIT is starting to prove themselves as maybe the better squad. It was almost even on the hard point, and then they dominate on the search and destroy. They pick up one of these respawn modes. They're my favorite to win it.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with that, and I can see where you're coming from with that. I will say I disagree a little bit on the taking of the control points first. I think you take ring first, and it just leaves you with more time over at the pool site where It's not necessarily so much about getting on the point right away as much as it is about controlling the spawns, getting some map control before you start to get those ticks together, just because of how close the defensive spawn is. Still, though, you're absolutely right. Everybody has their own way of playing things and doing things, and both ways are viable. We'll see which way both of these teams prefer to go with, and we'll see if you're right. If NJIT are going to put this one or flip this one around after losing map 1, maybe they go ahead and take map 3 and have themselves right where they want it in a closeout match going into the final hardpoint.
Yeah, loading in now. Gonna find ourselves on raid for map number 3, the control. And this is just to see who can get their way to map point, just like you said. First time of the night, we don't have a team up 2-0 going into the third map. The first time we have had guys really go blow for blow from both sides. And for, I was about to say OSU, that's not who's on anymore. For Rutgers, they need these ones. If it goes back to a search and destroy, I don't think they'll be able to pick it up. So these respawns have to be there. Lucane and Quantic need to be slaying at that same level they did map number 1.
You're totally right. I mean, they were dominant in that search and destroy. You have to think them as the favorites if it goes to a map 5, but we're in here on control. Money G taking advantage of that crazy angle underneath the van, picks up a kill, and that helps out a lot as there was already a tick starting to come in. The defense will go ahead and deplenish that. And you see JT Speed here. He's in behind enemy lines, being a snake, gonna put a little thorn in the side of this setup here for RU Black, and that's just so annoying when you're respawning in control and you have a player already next to you killing you. It just adds to the frustration. JT Speed picks up that kill on red. Finally, Lucane will pick him up, and they can start to open things up as they make this push over towards A. Hybrid will be the first one to start the tick, but you're seeing it again. Zebus, number 5 there on your mini-map, might have a chance to get behind enemy lines again and continue to be a nuisance.
I mean, the evolving storyline when you're talking about goose eggs. A moment ago, Rutgers had 3 members with 0 kills, but all of a sudden they are waking up. Hybrid finds a double for himself. Quantic has 2 on this life, and Red is the only person left to actually get in on this game. For NJIT, it is all through Zebus, but they have a good amount of control here by A, moving on towards this third tick, and no one really that close until the backside. Money G is going to try and spray down through the window. He has to get in. Someone has to contest, or it's just going to finish off. And I love the play by Rutgers right now. They know they have so much pressure over there. They send 3 members over towards B, and this is going to get capped up in an instant.
Yeah, if you look at your mini-map, NJIT wasn't ready for this. They're able to get the stack, and as we know, this thing will just go ahead and fly its way up. The tick's already up to 2. When you get the stack together, that's when you really start to capture these points. And over at A, it was Hybrid capturing it all by himself. Now it's going to be pretty ironic that he might be the one to capture B, but not before Locks has something to say about that. He picks up the kill, and both of these points at 2 ticks right now. If you're Rutgers Black, you have to make a decision here which one you want to go for, and it looks like they should have time to capture A.
Oh, it's a beautiful example of what I was talking about in the pre-game. They made the play over by A with Hybrid, and then they sent everyone over by B, and then they come back over by A. NJIT are just too slow on these rotations, looking left, right, and center, and all of a sudden, it is 1 tab of control away from Rutgers taking rounds number 1 on the attacking side. Money G gonna try and make this play around the back, but Red is stuck inside of Cash. Gonna actually challenge instead of sitting on that Semtex. Picks up 3 kills in a row now for Rutgers, and NJIT are just stumped, trying to get out of their spawns. They are stuck, they are trapped, and the final push is going to be through the court. See if they can get there in time. It's not going to be fast enough. Rutgers Black with beautiful strategy pick up round 1.
I have to, wholeheartedly agree. That is perfect strategy in a round of control. Like you said, you focus over by A, then you switch things to B. You're just going back and forth between the 2 sites. You're keeping NJIT guessing. And then finally here, when they get to B, all they need is 1 tick. Rather than stacking the point, you probably could have done that and gotten things done quickly. You're seeing Red in the kill cam here, maintaining control of the spawns and of the map, letting his teammates just sit in the hill, soak up the time, and win and end up with the win. It's not necessarily about stacking the point every time as much as it is about holding down control of the map so your teammates can safely stack the point by themselves.
And coming here into the second round, NJIT from the attacking side, they're going to do it how you said they should play. Make that push over by A. You're close there. You can start things on Ring and then move across to Pool. Money G actually throwing out a lot for himself, and he's going to get around the backside. Picks up the kill, the trophy system, and how about one more? Money G with a very explosive start to this round, but it is cleaned up, and NJIT have to start again. I like this next play to try and take control of the middle of the map, but Lucane around the corner. It's a rough position, but they are not too out of it here in the early moments.
Nope, gonna go ahead and continue on pushing back to A. And sometimes you're right, it doesn't hurt to just throw one player over to B just to have something to think about if you're on defense. But here's Hybrid trying to play finesse on the rock. Goes ahead and picks up a kill. Couldn't get the second, didn't finish shooting. And Money G turns around for the turn on. Oh my goodness, Money G having his way on this point will finally fall to a Semtex. It's got to be a little frustrating if you're Money G. It feels like you're picking up the kills on the point where your teammates in support. You're still unable to get that first tick. And right now, if you're NJIT, it looks like we're going to go ahead and switch things up and try to get a capture at B. You see the players on the red team forced to rotate. Rutgers black, and they got a player going into Money, a player going over to try to get the depletion. But right now, it looks like B is in good spot. If you're NJIT, you have a chance to capture this one.
And you can see why it's such a good spot. Where JT is laying, there are very few angles you can actually see someone holding that spot. You have to jump in and contest, try and find these kills, but with Locks over the top, it is going to be a difficult proposition for Rutgers. 2 tabs and a half of control here by B. Last one going to get picked up as Locks finds one more kill, 3 on the life. And all of a sudden, you got another minute to play with. Lives are only a 1-score difference between the two squads. It's a difficult takeover by Ring, but you get a good break. You can spawn trap the defenders. NJIT are really fighting for themselves to stay in this game.
Seeing these teams almost completely switch sides. You got number 1 for Rutgers Black. He's deep over by the driveway trying to play kills off the spawners. And then you just had Luke Kane in the opposite spawn. Both these guys don't know where they're supposed to be, apparently. And Locks just continues to put some bullets into the body of Red after the kill there. That's a little disrespectful, but you got to love the competition these guys are putting out. As we see the push continue to come towards A. It's Hybrid right now trying to take away at that point right there, and Locks up by top art, picks up 1 kill. Zeba's trying to get the second to start to open things up. Give credit to Rutgers Black. They're doing a really, really good job at not allowing anything over at A. Got to start with the ARs, I think. Zebus needs to pick up a kill or 2 to open things up for his submachine gun players, and then once Money G is getting those kills on the site, it's just a matter of stacking it at that point. But, I mean, you're just seeing it again here. These kills for Rutgers Black continue to come through, and it's just so difficult for NJIT to get any map control.
Still have time, and you're only 2 kills behind, though, so anybody's round right now to try and even it up for NJIT and try and make the map point for Rutgers Black. Luke Kane spotted up now around tree by Zebus. He's gonna get undercover, but it's a 2-for-1 building itself there in the middle of the map. Quantic on the other direction goes 1-for-1 with JT Speed. The point has not been touched in a long time. New Jersey have to try and make it through, but Hybrid set up with that AR. Luke Kane right behind him on this Krig 6. You can find as many kills as you want around the outer sections, but eventually you have to break it through, and we're into the last 12 seconds. Locke's going to try and find his way around the corner. JT Speed has too many targets to look at. Rutgers apply the pressure, and Money G slipped through for a second. It's not going to be enough. 2-0 now in map number 3, and NJIT still struggle to finish out these respawn modes.
I think we got to give credit to Rutgers Black. That is a really good job on defense after a very strong offense in the first round. They come out, once you lose point B, rather than sitting back by A and keeping opponents off it, they push up aggressively, kind of trap them in the spawn, and just you treat defense almost like it's offense. You push up, you play aggressive, and it just gives NJIT no room to get out and make a break. It was a really good job on defense, and we'll see if they can compound it and make it 3 straight here in this control. A very strong performance so far to Rutgers Black.
And I mean, if I'm going to call out the stats for the Slayers, eventually you got to call out the stats for those not doing as well. JT Speed at 5 and 14 has just never really found his stride here on Raid. Might just not be his map, but he has to pick it up for his team to finish it off. There have been some very close rounds that NJIT need that little bit more to get through. Again, Rutgers, they have a man over by A, they have a man in the middle, and they have 2 by B, taking full control of the entire map as NJIT just wonder, where do we go from here? Who do we defend on? Money G gets the double kill by B, though. He is gonna open it up, and Luke Kane is in the forward advanced position to try and control through kitchen.
Money G has been huge as he picks up another kill. Was really having a good time finessing over at A last round. It just didn't get enough support from his teammates. And again here, pushed up in Zig. Could have another 2-piece. The gun punch just not quite there in time. And JT Speed is picking up a couple kills to continue to hold down mid. And if you're Rutgers Black, you got to make a decision here where you're going to go to get your first point captured so you can extend this round. The kills continue to funnel in for JT Speed, starting to pick things up a little bit here in round 3. Money G as well, pushing the emphasis and pushing into Art. just so much pressure on these spawns. If you're NJIT, it's really what you want to be doing on defense. Don't make it easy for Rutgers Black to get out on offense and try to capture a point.
Yeah, and as JT speed picks up, you're seeing a much better defense right now from New Jersey. Gotta clear off Red, and he gets a big kill and body spray onto Lox. They still remember when Lox sprayed them down earlier. It is gonna get answered by one. Money G, he is a man made of outplays thus far today. Gonna jump off the top side, finds the shot, finishes it off. What a play there by Money G to get 2 shots, and the timer running away from Rutgers. They have to find their way onto one of their sites. Their control is getting taken off, and it is a desperation B hit for everything behind the statue. Is a 1-for-1 trade, and that should be enough fresh off of these respawns. 5 seconds counting down. NJIT hold on. Okay, I'm gonna hold off. 0.8 seconds remaining. Anything can happen as long as there's still time. And Hybrid gets aggressive. Finally, it gets finished off. NJIT finally get onto the board.
This guy, Money G, is the finesse god over there at A, getting up on top ring, sliding around by the rocks. So hard to kill over there. And that's really something in Cold War that it plays a major role. How well are you able to finesse around one object, the movement, the slides, the jumps, all that different stuff, just time wasting so his teammates can come off spawn, get to the point, and give him some support, up to 24 and 19 right now. But what you really should be looking at is those 21 objective points for Money G. Has been all over the points throughout this control, and you have to expect that to continue. But can he get a little more support on this offense from some of his teammates?
Yeah, it's still staying alive, but not out of the woods quite yet, as Rutgers are still on that map point. Hybrid gonna come around the right side, taken down by none other than the man himself. Money G at 25 and 19. He wants to hold on to this top mark, and Lox just knowing what he's doing. The headshot into the melee, into the body spray. The emotions are taking control of these players, and a body spray just caused Red to lose his life. JT Spear around the corner. I am loving the way things are picking up between these squads. It's a chippy game.
It's just so back and forth. It felt like I was just getting ready to say that NJIT was picking up the momentum and they're starting to come back in this game, and they are. But as soon as I'm ready to say that, Rutgers Black fill up the feed Red and turn things back where they want them to be. A with 2 ticks right now. If you're NJIT, you probably want to get that one done and give yourself some more time. Lox has just been so great at shooting those bodies. At least he's going to jump into the point, and a trophy kill on Money G is going to slow down that push, but I do think the capture will come in today. It will. Zeba's picking up some kills, but now if you're Rutgers Black, you got to start turning that focus over towards B. You got a 3-life disadvantage right now that might not play as big of a role as you might think, but JT Speed is going to be huge here over by Back Laundry to kind of open things up in the spawn. You see the players rotating away, trying to help on that push from the front side of the hill.
Hybrid forced out of the corner of bar off of a good Semtex and cleaned up 2 quick kills for NJIT, as the rest of Rutgers are at risk of getting stuck into a spawn trap. Look how deep NJIT are back into their spawns. JT gonna pick up one, but Liu Kang immediately trades it back, and everyone from NJIT get cleared off. That's exactly what Rutgers needed as the pressure was building to a breaking point. They still have Lox near the backside, and Money G creeping along the stairs. Anybody's lot of lives left, so I feel like this either goes down to time or to control. Hybrid picks up one, trying to get the next one onto JT with a cheeky Semtex, but a little too cheeky, and the point might get opened up again.
And it's what I was talking about before the game started. I mean, if you want to capture B, if you look at it on the minimap, how close it is to the Rutgers Black spawn, it's almost ridiculous to think about it even being possible, but it is. You just have to get control of the map. You have to do what they're trying to do, but they're not having any success, is get control of this kitchen, get control of money, get control of the spawns before you get on the point. But easier said than done right now, as you see Rutgers Black continue to have this perfect setup. Quantic, first line of defense right now. A couple players in Tiki. One's taking a dip in the pool. That's Lox, just working on that backstroke. He's finally going to chow. Quantic jumps back out. He will fall. Hybrid gets the trade onto Lox as Money G pushes up into this very, very important corner. We talked about it. You see it. Hybrid forced to climb out of money to try to get that challenge. Will win that gunfight, but it's just such a great position to be in if you're the attacking team. Got to play that corner or this spot right here that JT Speed is in. Another spot so difficult to see if you're the other team, but Quantic is just going huge right now. A big 2-piece by open stairs to keep this one where they want it. And as the clock ticks down, it's not looking like we're going to have that Cinderella story after all.
Sadly, no. NJIT just can't quite finish out the B site. I was gonna make the point that they had to make someone rotate all the way through A, get into the
Yeah.
spawns. They never went for it, just running their head against this brick wall set up by Rutgers time and time again. But it was a good matchup. They finally heated up there in the third round. Money G has come through big, and so much pressure now onto this map number 4. I think it will be whoever wins this one takes it home. Obviously, if Rutgers win it, they take it 3-1. But if they lose, I can't see them winning a search over this New Jersey squad. Everything comes down to map number 4 now.
You're totally right. I mean, we saw in map 1 the success that Rutgers is able to have in the respawn. They do it again there in the control. Opposite side of the table for NJIT. They're dominant in the search and destroy, so you have to give them the upper hand if we go to map 5. Moscow, though, hardpoint. I mean, in terms of Call of Duty spawns being predictable or at all manageable, obviously that's not something that's not a way you would describe them. But I do feel like Moscow is the more manageable of all the maps in the hardpoint rotation, where you can kind of stay in control of the spawns a little bit, manage your rotations, and it kind of plays more of a role, I guess, than gun skill on some of these hardpoint maps. I mean, we'll see exactly how it plays out. I'm excited for it, but I kind of just have a feeling that for some reason, I think Moscow is the most controllable of all the maps in hardpoint.
Yeah, and that's partly because of the coast-to-coast rotation from P2 to P3. It is just such a difference from corner to corner of the map that as long as you're even slightly positioned to the left side of P2, your squad could easily get those spawns over there. Makes it a very tough movement across for whoever was sitting over on the right side of the map last. And that's where I think this map really comes down to, is who can control that rotation, because it is so many free seconds of points just waiting for your opponents to get across. It is sitting P3 right where the A site on Moscow control is, and we have seen how difficult that site is to break over and over again. That is the power hill. There are other ones that are good, but that is where I look at for teams to make their money on this map.
Absolutely. And you're speaking of power. I mean, we're looking at Moscow, a little more of an open map. AR play becomes pretty crucial in this, and we were looking at Locks all throughout the series. Has been shooting bodies, playing with the chip on the shoulder, you might say. I mean, that is just a little bit of a sign of disrespect, obviously, but it's just in the spirit of competition. We know that. I mean, it happens all the time, and if you're getting your body shot and it's really getting to you, then you might just be a little bit soft, and you might have to just get some tougher skin. We'll see, though, how the ARs play out on this map. Longer sight lines, obviously, they become a little more important. And whichever one of these teams can have the stronger AR play might be the one with the advantage come the start of this one.
Body shots are definitely a double-edged sword, though, because you've seen the times where a team might be behind and then they get body shot, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're not doing that to me. They turn on and just come back hard, and you're starting to see Locks and Red are really the ones that are going back and forth with those body shots. They have met up many times, and anytime they realize it is the opponent in that rivalry that they take down, extra bullets are sure to follow. That actually got Red killed in the control when he was spraying extra around the corner, and JT Speed is like, well, if you're going to tell me where you are, I'll come here and pick you up. The emotions are going to be really big in controlling them here in the possible final map. If you had to pick a favorite right now after such a close map number 1, who do you think you'd give it to?
It's really tough. I think, I mean, you look at Rutgers and the way they've played in the respawn game mode so far, and I guess you kind of have to give them the upper hand. But NJIT has been really good at being the team playing from behind. I mean, you lose map 1, you win map 2. We just saw it in control after you lose the first 2 rounds of that. They started to pick up some momentum. They started to make their way back in that game. I don't want to count them out by any means. I think this is a team that isn't afraid of playing from behind. And also, I mean, we talk about both of these teams are undefeated right now, so there's just so much on the line. You know, you don't want to pick up that first loss, and we're seeing it in the body shooting that's going on. I was wondering too, to even draw it back to map 1, if maybe the body shooting had to do with the assassination that Locks put on, but I think he was shooting bodies before that even started.
It was before.
This guy, he's just trying to embarrass anybody at any time, at any chance he gets, and you got to respect him for it, because he's certainly doing it.
I mean, he might be living rent free in Rutgers' minds right now, for being honest, but he needs the rest of his team to back him up going into this next one. Money G has finally got there. He is playing at an insane level. The key right now, if I'm giving my keys to the game for NJIT, is come out hot. It was too little too late for map number 1. They almost completed the comeback. Just get out to an early lead this time and drive the bus already home. And here we go, map number 4 on Moscow. Possible final map of the evening and the week here on College COD. Let's see who can come out on top.
Gonna be a good one then, right? If this is it, it has to be a good one. And I'm gonna be focused on the stuff I was talking about. Which team is managing the rotations better, managing the map overall better? That's what's gonna come up huge in this game. I mean, we've seen the slaying power from both sides. It's there. At this point, it's just a matter of which team can manage the map better, and we might be getting a stoppage. Classic Call of Duty. What else can you expect? Looks like we might be not starting the festivities too early just yet.
Listen, we were talking between the games. I got myself a game design computer science major. Making a game is hard. We got to give them a little bit of a break. You try and take a networking class. I promise it is not as easy as some of you guys in chat might think. But I'm right there with you. It's rotations are very, very big. I would put this right behind Raid Hardpoint for the most rotation dependent score for yourself. So off of that, think back to map number 1. And I think it was actually NJIT that were getting onto a lot of those hills pretty quickly. But both teams were relatively even on those rotations, which just adds to the coin flip feel of this map.
Yeah, if we're looking at map number 1, I don't really know how much of an indicator that could be because, I mean, it got to that point where it was so tightly contested. Both teams were just funneling the hill. And if you do that on Moscow, I don't exactly know what's going to happen. I mean, the spawns are just going to be so sporadic. Obviously, at the start of the game, so important to play for those P2 spawns. And then, like you say, you flip the map on its head, and P3 is on the absolute other side. Another rotation where spawns come in absolutely massive. You're going to want to be spawning back books. But we're finally getting back into things here. I say finally as if it was such a long wait. And you're absolutely right, Morgan. I mean, let me just go ahead and leave a disclaimer. I could never in a million years ever be a networker or a code writer for a call. No, that's not me. I'm more of a words guy than I am a math guy. So I'll leave it to them and I'll stop getting on their case. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, trying one more time here, loading up into Moscow. I guess while we have the moment, the final little bit of analytics is don't sleep on Hill 4 here. Back on the buses. I see some teams give up on it a little too early, or it's obvious they don't practice it enough. That can slip into being a power hill very, very quickly. But here we go into map number 4 in the initial press in. It is going to be NJIT with those good spawns leading into P number 2. So expect Rutgers at some point to make a play for that rotation. Picking up the kill onto Locks, Money G to start things out, and JT Speed can't do enough to answer it. Rutgers pushing their opponents back with pure force and are going to control P1.
That is a huge break off the start. You get the spawn you might not be looking for, but it doesn't matter. Picking up all the kills, and they're continuing to pick them up as the kill feed remains red. It is a bloodbath there. Number 7, that's Quantic, just going to continue to soak up this time. Not typically a hill where you're expected to get anything more than about 30 seconds, but already Rutgers Black with 24 seconds on the hill, and they're set up for P2 here. Red is going to be in a very important situation. You see number 3 on the minimap, though. Is he going to catch him out? He gets a couple shots in. Red still trying to play that life, still trying to take this challenge. A nade falls in as well, but the regen comes in, finally gets some support from there's some support from the other team, and he will fall. So it looks like the spawns will be in favor of NJIT going into P2.
Yeah, but that dancing gave a chance for Hybrid to get near the back, but already cleaned up. Zivas and GT Speed going to get through and pick up a few kills, and this is the point I was going to make. Rutgers came out very hot map 1 as well, and they slowed down over the course while NJIT sped up. So yes, they are slaying very well here in the early moments, but hold your breath if you're a fan of either team. It could still turn around. Good shots right there. They're actually in a good position to possibly take the lead off of this hill. Money G on top of it, gonna get sprayed down. Hybrid and Liu Kane get onto it, and NJIT making a smart decision to just get over to P3.
Yeah, you get your 28 seconds. Go ahead and get out of there. Rotate, because as we know, if you start to die in the latter half of that hill on P2, you're going to continue to spawn at P2 on the complete opposite side of the map, so you got to go ahead and rotate early. Zebus, that's a huge kill on red. Another one from Locks. They start to hold down this setup before the hill even pops. But Hybrid going to be the first one up here. He's got no support from his teammates, so just trying to waste some time, let them push up. But you can already see the initial time going into the hands of NJIT. They had the rotations, and it's going to be really, really difficult to get this break.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a fortress getting set up. Aggressive challenge, though, out of JT Speed, and he gets punished for it. Luke Kane, all of a sudden, with a double kill, and they're getting stuck back behind Library. It is a difficult break, but if you leave your position, it can be opened up in an instant. And here comes Hybrid. 4 kills on the life, 7 and 3 in the map thus far, and pushing even further back. The full wipe by Rutgers, and that was unexpected, at least on my mind, as they pushed through a very tough hill to break.
A lot of that has to do with Luke Kane with that opening 2-piece, just taking those challenges with all the confidence in the world. Kills, though, on rotation in favor of NJIT as they try to hold down this P4 hill. Another one. I agree with you, Morgan. It's so mixy over there. Teams might not practice it enough. There's so many different sight lines and quirky ways you can be effective over there. You can climb on the bus. You can go in the bus. You can do what Money G's doing, playing this weird off angle and picking up a kill on Luke Kane as his team starts to soak the hill. Rutgers Black in the lead, but it doesn't look like it's going to be there for too long until these kills come in. And they're just so back and forth throughout these hard points. It's so hard to see which team's going to come out with a win. They just continue. And once you see one team pick up some momentum, right comes back NJIT, and it's so hard to tell who's going to win.
It's so interesting looking at NJIT's members. The guys that were cold on Control are suddenly heating up, and the guys that were hot are suddenly ice cold. JT Speed has the 2 KD, but both Lox and Money G, the guys we were singing their praises, are heavily negative, so anything can get mixed up. Over on the side of Rutgers, you even have Red and Quantic sitting there underneath the 1-for-1 kill death, and just, it's back and forth. You can never guess what's coming through next. All of a sudden, New Jersey has the lead. They're up by 8 points and looking to hold control over there on the P2 spawns, but they have gotten too aggressive over by P4, and they're going to have to make the break come in the opposite direction.
And all of a sudden, we're back to the second set of rotations. Again, here's Rutgers with the hold. Red's going to be the first one to pick up a kill onto JT Speed as Zebus trades Quantic. Hybrid gets another. And although you're playing for time on P1, but more importantly, you're playing for those spawns at P2. Lox is the one doing that. Trying to play the life back here in such an important position. He's checking every last corner to make sure nobody's trying to get behind him. Hybrid spawning up and starting to flood back towards the hill. It's Lox, though, for NJIT, who's going to be the first one to try to play for these spawns. He's going to get the shots into Luke Kane, but he can't pick up the kill. And Luke Kane smartly is going to play the life as long as he can. Get some help from his teammate Hybrid. Zebus there for the trade, and 2 come in for NJIT. It looks like they're going to get those spawns after all.
And if you compare this to the first rotation, this is much better for New Jersey. They were down 30 points going into P2 last time. All of a sudden, they are tied up with a chance of holding these spawns. It's all up to Zebus, though. Gonna get spotted out by Luke Kane and very close to getting knocked down. Only 34 HP remaining and going through the back door. Quantic picking up through the window where he left off, finds the first man. JT Speed just manages to survive, and the points continue to creep over in New Jersey's favor. Zebus back into his nest yet again. Money G in on the site. New Jersey are heating up much earlier this time through, and for Rutgers, you have to start regaining. Maybe get another big lead for yourself if you can manage off of a hill. Otherwise, the slide is just turning into a snowball rolling down the mountain as New Jersey has continued to fight back. They are able to break the hill, though, get some points back, and it is within a 10 count right now, these two teams.
Both of these teams are hitting their strides right now. This is so much fun to watch. I mean, what more can you ask for? I'm going to go ahead and say it. We're going to map 5. It's the final match of the night. We're on the Alpha stream here. Get ready for it. We're going to map 5. I mean, these teams are so back and forth right now, and it's probably going to come down to a few points in the end score, but I can just feel it. Map 5 incoming, inbound, coming here to you next. Don't go anywhere.
Don't let Red hear you say that, or he'll spray your body down when he finds you in league play after this. 4-man stack through the middle of the map now for Rutgers as they try to make that same play that Luke Kane did so well. Zebus ran out of ammo! They were all lined up in front of him, and Luke Kane is back into his sight. So much pressure on the Money G right now to find the kill. Eventually gets there, can't get the turnaround shot, but I think it just might be enough for a hold out of New Jersey. Last time they were here, they couldn't manage to do it, but JT Speed on an entirely different gear than map number 3. He's gonna be able to hold on and keep Rutgers from getting control.
Absolutely on a rampage right now. Keep it going with the slide cancel, the G slide, I should say, off that little ledge is huge, and they're going to get this final 10 seconds, expand that lead even more before this rotation into P4. And just as we switch off the perspective there, JT Speed was getting ready to make a huge flank. He picks up the kill after all, as the kill feed continues to light up in color of white. NJIT have got control here on P4. They're already in initial time, and they try to extend this lead. Zebus is at the back, slaying things out. Hybrid's there to pick up the kill on him, but Money G, gotta be worried about Money G. Just been having a day so far on the objective. You look at the scores on the objective, Money G with 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Nobody else after that past 35 seconds. This guy is the Doug Sensor Martin of the CCL.
Sometimes that is just the perfect strategy, though. If you can have the one guy racking up time as JT Speed picks himself up an artillery strike. I didn't even realize he was still on that same streak he found over on P3. That could be a massive difference maker as Rutgers are going to be down on respawns. He has the cruise missile as well. Where did this JT come from? 25 and 12.
Slide canceling everywhere, making a 9 kill streak for JT Speed, and he just picked up some more ammo so the carnage doesn't have to end. We get to stick with him. He's got the KD up over double positive, holding down the front of this hill. Instead, why not turn onto Hybrid to pick up a kill? And finally, Lucane is there to clean him up. Lucane with another challenge onto Locks. That'll clean things up for P1 as Rutgers Black take control. This is some important time. I mean, this is time that can bring you right back into this game. You don't even necessarily have to worry about P2 right now. Just worry about getting any points where you can get them as JT Speed picks up where he left off and starts on this little kill streak here with just 1.
Yeah, Rutgers trying to turn it back, tie it up for themselves. They are down by a good amount, though, so even the rest of this hill wouldn't do anything, and they're actually struggling to even hold on it. Good play there by Zebus to try and move on, put his back to P2 and defend it, but easily sprayed down as Money G coming up to the half wall to try and be the next man standing. Hybrid around the corner. Oh, picks up that shot. I didn't even see him having a chance in that firefight, but finds it. 222 to 184. It is really coming down to these last couple of hills. Rutgers need to hold solidly all of P number 2 right now. Locks up inside of the window, gonna get sprayed down by Hybrid, and here comes that cruise missile. First one sent over towards Quantic, but we saw this earlier, the streaks can't really go do that much through all of these skyscrapers. At least the cruise missile can. There is so much inside room to hide behind, and NJIT, their lead just melting away second by second if they can't be careful.
That cruise missile could have been huge, but he doesn't get any kills, and you see it for both of the ARs on each team. They just continue to fight for this position that Locks is in right now. That top police department is so hard to get a kill when someone's up there, and this is huge time on Old right now for NJIT, almost winning time. They'll only need about 8 seconds as the rotation comes into P3, and another streak from JT Speed, maybe just to check and see where players are on the map. He gets the information for his team as he continues to pick up kills. He's going to be playing back books in a crucial spot. Finally Red there to get the kill. And oh my goodness, it all comes down to this. Can Rutgers Black maintain this hold, or can NJIT get one more break to close out map 4?
Here it is around the corner. Red gonna take himself some shots as Quantic picks one up onto Money G. JT Speed coming over the top side is gonna get sprayed down as well. Red in on the site. Rutgers still not close enough to win it on this hill though, and it'll have to be a flawless rotation. Plenty of time for NJIT to try and win it here and now as Locks picks one up. Shots coming down as Red finds himself inside of Library. A 1-for-1 trade there, and Zebus is the next man standing. Pin Rutgers down inside of this hill. Do not let them be the first team to rotate over towards the buses, and the firefight there gets one on the side of NJIT. Everything gets sprint over to the other direction now for Rutgers as they have to find their way, but Locks set up for himself inside of the bus. The Krig 6 like a turret, finds the first one, looks for the second one onto Luke there, and time ticks away. Right now, final man to make a play, 40 seconds. What is he doing? He didn't even rush forward, and the time ticks away. NJIT send us to a map 5.
I had a feeling the final match of the night would go to game 5, and here we are, headed to it. Oh my goodness, that was so intense. Rutgers Black, you got to give him credit. They fought all the way to the end in that one. Just in the final seconds, weren't able to get the contest here on P4. A lot of it has to do with this player right here. JT Speed on this streak that we're seeing in this kill cam was going absolutely ballistic. Ended up picking up the cruise missile and the artillery. I mean, I just don't even know what to say, Morgan. Like, these guys in Hardpoint are so evenly matched. It makes them so fun to watch. They play off of each other's momentum so well. Just when one team starts to build a lead, that's when the other team wakes up and brings it right back. And finally, we're going to go into Search and Destroy, where NJIT has the upper hand after winning map 2 6-1. But I mean, at this point, it's just got to be anybody's ball game.
I mean, it'll be the ultimate decision of was it the map or the mode that really gave it to NJIT? Or are they just a Moscow SND team only? Or are they good on all the search maps? We're going to be heading into checkmate here for the final map of the evening. The first time you and me have seen the plane tonight at the very least. And so, what's really the strategies you like throwing out here? Obviously, teams favor inside of the plane first. And I usually say you have to put everything to try and make it onto that plane site. And otherwise, just once it's all fallen apart, go to the top of the map.
I think, yeah, you're taking the words kind of right out of my mouth. This is the map where not having smokes and not having sniper rifles plays the biggest role. There's so many lanes, so many crosses that with a smoke would be really, really helpful. You'd be able to get across and get players to bomb sites. But without that, you're right. It just puts so much emphasis on the top of the plane. You have to win that battle on offense if you're going to have any chance. And if you're on defense, it's just a matter of stacking a few players by that bomb site, making sure they just keep their sights up and wait for players to run into it, because it's just so difficult to push through when you already have players hard aiming there. It's really a defensive heavy map here. Checkmate is. If you're on offense, if you can pick out a few offenses and win those rounds, you're going to put yourself in a pretty good position, because defense is so easy and so manageable on this map.
Yeah, and if we look back at map number 2, if I remember correctly, it was Locks that just went on another level. Ended the map 10-2, the 5 KD to add to his stats. But he kind of slowed down there in map number 4. So I wonder if he can get back up to that same level. And if he isn't slaying out and carrying NJIT through some of those close rounds, is that going to be the door opening up enough for Rutgers to get back into this game?
I mean, my guy Locks, you start shooting some bodies, and that's only going to put the spotlight on you a little more. I mean, you obviously got some swagger to your gameplay. Well, now we're going to be paying attention to it. And if you start to fall off, people are going to realize it. And I don't know. It's just shooting bodies it's always one of those things. You could look at it a lot of different ways. But yeah, again, here, the assault rifle play is going to be absolutely massive. Locks is going to have to play a big role. The players for Rutgers are also going to have to play a big role. There's so many long sight lines on Checkmate where snipers aren't available. What's your closest thing to that? A Krig, basically. You said it yourself, the turret almost that it is, the sentry gun that you can set up in one location and just hold down those long sight lines. A is pretty much not an option on this map,
it's
right?
Not. It's a bait. It's a full debate.
Yeah.
We saw last week on Bravo a team go and plant at A, thinking, this is the best thing ever. No one's defending here. And as soon as their planter got killed, it is an impossible retake. There is no way to get back onto it, and they'll just defuse it right in front of you. A is you don't go there until everything's fallen apart, unless there's some entirely new execute over there that no one's figured out yet.
Unless there's something that we don't know about. A is just not the viable bomb site. And something else I like to mention on Checkmate, obviously, like we said, this is the first time we're seeing it tonight as casters, and it's a map where you're really going to want to turn up your headset. I said this last week. There's so many around that B site, the more favorable bomb site, so many different audio cues that you can pick up on. A player falling off a table or picking up the bomb or climbing up onto the side of the wings. Those little audio cues, those little bits of information are going to be the difference maker in a lot of rounds. So if you have those Turtle Beaches, you're going to want to go ahead and crank your mix amp, because they can come in crucial in Search and Destroy.
All right, we'll get to see it right here, right now, loading into map number 5. Final point I wanted to make is he talked about the Krig 6, and the Krig 6 for the side of Rutgers is in the hands of Liu Kane, and so definitely pressure on him to do good. But mostly I just wanted to point out, did you notice what reticle he had in that last game?
The mustache reticle.
Man was rocking the mustache, and I mean, if you can put people down with the stash in the middle of your sight, that's got to say something about how good of a player you are.
Facial hair on the reticle is incredible. As we get into round number 1, pretty much what we expected, right? The push to B, so important. It's up to Zebus here to slow it down. It's Liu Kane and Hybrid for Rutgers trying to make this push, but as we know, it is not an easy task.
Yeah, and it's so tempting on the defense to just pull the trigger and start spraying through those walls because they are paper thin. Locke's actually going to get picked up over by A, and Hybrid answering 3 quick kills for Rutgers in the blink of an eye, and Money G left all alone.
Oh.
Flawless for Rutgers to kick things off. I certainly wasn't expecting that.
Not expecting that, but it's so important, right? Anytime you can pick up an offense, a round win on offense on this map, it's going to play a huge role. At this point now, if you're Rutgers, I mean, probably not the way you want to get things done, but you could pretty much just hang on and win all your defenses, and you're going to be good for the most part, assuming you get defense in the final round. But anytime you can pick up an offense on Checkmate, it's going to be so, so crucial. And they do it in sweeping fashion, right? Nobody falls in that first round for Rutgers.
And everybody gets a kill, so they are all on how they need to be. NJIT coming from the attacking side now, exact same thing, and there's the spray looking for damage. Hybrid can be hiding on top of the table behind the bomb, and that's information onto Luke Kane. I don't know if they actually spotted him out yet. Good Semtex won't be able to finish off the front defender, but the initial kill down onto Quantic from Lox is going to give the man advantage over to New Jersey.
First blood, so crucial, especially if you are on defense, as the gun punch from Hybrid is huge. That's incredible. Money G with a big challenge onto Luke Kane with that mustache reticle is proven to be too much. Red here at the bottom of the plane, just looking to pick up this final kill onto Lox. We know that the rivalry has been there. Lox getting the better of Red. That time, if the two-piece just wasn't meant to be, there would have been plenty of body shooting to follow that kill if he had gotten it. But Rutgers Black is going to hang on for 2 straight to start this one out. And I don't know. It's going to have to be another one of those swings for NJIT where they pick momentum up as the game goes on. We've seen that throughout this series. Not a good start, though, so far in the first 2 rounds.
Just so close there to turn the 2v1. I put my hands on top of my head. Luke Kane coming out to the early 3-0. That Krieg 6 is being the difference in this game. Right through B once again. I'm starting to actually wonder if it's all going to be about the people that aren't running through the plane, but Luke Kane once again. How about another double? Once the next one onto Lox, can't quite find it, but the damage is already done, and the man advantage got evened up because of JT Speed picking up that kill onto Red. We are left even in all of a sudden, and Quantic is around the backside looking to get a big flank onto these New Jersey defenders.
2v2 situation. The bomb is going to fall. That's a huge kill for JT Speed. A lot of information for his team there. Quantic, last alive for Rutgers Black, has a player to his right in the top of the plains. Not going to know that. Instead, slowly backs away. We could have had a gunfight. Now it might be coming through, and it's not going to be picked up by Quantic, but he gets away with his life for a second there, and NJIT are able to hang on and win that round. And I mean, talking about that mustache reticle, I don't know if we're going to see it again here. Luke Kane might be onto something. This thing doesn't bounce like a regular red dot. I mean, this thing is just an absolute beam for Luke Kane. He must have a mustache in real life.
I mean, if you got it, then rock it. Coming through with the double kill to kick it off. 5-1 here in the early moments, but you can't get too caught up in the flashiness of it all. NJIT do win that round. They are back in. They have some momentum, and it's Lox and JT Speed leading the way. Zebus needs to meet up with them at some point, though. Get off of that goose egg as Red takes control here in the bottom corner of the plane. The man with the bomb will be JT, and he wants that angle, nearly finds it for himself onto Red. The team's just going into a little bit of a standoff.
Another standoff here in the top of the plane has pretty much become the definition of checkmate, search, and destroy. Hybrid again here, playing the head glitch on the bomb. We'll get some damage onto Money G. That wall just barely not paper thin. The other ones are, and the shots don't come through. He knows there's a player there, has to expect that JT Speed is nearby as well. Hybrid, though, does have some support from a teammate here in Luke Kane. The life advantage still in favor of Rutgers Black here on defense. Lox was the first blood. And we see a gunfight come in over by A. That's Quantic. Very good job at playing the life. Don't want to drop there. It's Money G throws down the trophy. Will reveal himself. Put some shots into Hybrid. Hybrid is absolutely 1 bullet right now, but he still has that support from the mustache-rocking Luke Kane at the back of the plane.
Yeah, trying to get that kill. Money G actually going to have to rotate now, but there's the kill onto Zebus. It is 1v4, looking for an ace clutch on Money. Finds the first, can't get the second as he gets pinched up, and Rutgers back onto what they started with, 3-1, and trying to answer that dominant map 2 performance with one of their own to take the game home.
Quantic, really a good job there playing the life. Anytime in Search and Destroy you're taking shots and you can stay alive is going to be so important. Just not only for the ability to get kills and to make plays, but just to have that map control, to have that information for your team, knowing where players are going to be is so, so important always. We get into another round 5 here, and we'll see if anything changes as expected. Doesn't really look like it, although you have the bomb carrier over by A. The push into the plane is going to be cut short by Zebus with the wall bang. And that's a moment where just that map knowledge can be so, so important. That wall bang, huge for Zebus there to draw first blood.
Yeah, now here comes a push out of Liu Kane, though. See if he can find anyone underneath as the bomb is up near the top side of the map. Liu Kane creeping, but hasn't spotted out JT Speed right yet. It's even between the two. The drop shot gets there. Liu Kane just not able to shoot through the barrel. JT got another one, even though he was so low on health. And this is like a rerun of last round with opposite colors. The 1v4, Red needing to find himself an ace clutch. Money G just holding behind the corner. Let the people know, hey, he is back here and I need some help. JT Speed wants it, not gonna get it. And at this point, NJIT, slow down, make sure you get this kill.
Absolutely, right? 3v1, don't make any mistakes. You're in game 5 here of the series, and that's gonna do it. Zebus with a nice kill, and after the 2-0 start for Rutgers Black, it's the same thing we've been seeing all series long. You got to give NJIT a lot of credit. So much composure on this team to stay in these games and not get down on themselves. JT Speed with a huge 2-piece, already absolute. It didn't really matter. And they just continue to trade. And we've already seen a few offenses get picked up. I think Rutgers Black with maybe 2 of those. But defense, I said it, is usually the more preferred side in this game mode on this map. We've already seen some offenses, though, in favor of some of these teams. So I don't know, a little different here in this checkmate search and destroy.
Yeah, it's going to be a 2-man stack, and this is the more traditional when you leave one guy all the way on the back on stairs, then someone to go over top to get the crossfire through the windows. NJIT just need to find their shots, but a push like that won't work out for Money G. Good challenge by JT Speed to get the trade, and we're left in a 2v2. Zebus now trying to heat up. Started 0-4, is 3-0 cents, looking to take the kill and give his team the man advantage back. Hybrid dropping behind, and Locks didn't turn up his turtle beaches, like you said. Couldn't quite hear it, and Zebus needs this kill on the cross. Definitely saw him. Doesn't pull the trigger as Rutgers group up for themselves up on the top right of the map.
2v1, all up to Zebus. Bomb not in hand either. That doesn't make things any easier. You see these players for Rutgers Black doing the right thing, staying near each other, playing together, making sure that the trade will come through. As Zebus falls to half health, he's going to have to wait and regen. He gets the eyes on a Hybrid. Hybrid climbs into tube, though, just barely, so get some good timing. And if you're Zebus, you got to start thinking about that bomb. The clock ticking down. Going to spot Hybrid, but he will fall in the end. And, I mean, for NJIT, it was a good start on the offensive side of things. You get the trades over by B-Bomb. It just doesn't end up working out in the end, and you got to give him credit. Really good job in the 2v1 situation to manage that life advantage and come out with the win.
Yeah, right there's the kill from Hybrid onto Locks, that turns thing. And Locks, I mean, he's doing 5. He's doing fine. He is 4-4, but this isn't the way it started out. I now see what everyone's talking about, Red, with his stick drift. Jeez, there in the initial moments. But I mean, he's dealing with it. He is playing even with Locks right now at 4-4 himself. Maybe he has just recalibrated to be that guy. A lot of damage down there onto Hybrid, but can't quite finish it out. And we are left in these early moments to stand off. Aggression through the middle of the map, though, as number 6, JT Speed. Yeah, I was going to say, he must be underneath because he is standing directly on top, one of those red arrows, hoping to get an aggressive kill here by changing up his positioning.
A position that is very, very important for NJIT down there. JT Speed been there a couple rounds, playing the info. You see him throwing these shoulders, just trying to get any information for his team that can be so, so important in a round to search and destroy. Both teams down a life, 3v3 here, as the bomb remains top lane. Liu Kane there to pick up the kill on JT Speed, and all of a sudden, it falls into the hands of Locks, who picks up 1 kill, but he's going to find himself in a 1v2 situation with the bomb down.
So far, Rutgers have been very good in these 1v2s. They haven't been giving them up as the same way they did on map number 2, but Locks took his time, regened up all that health again, and is going to be able to take some good firefights. Right now, he is just very confused where anyone might be. You can see the anxiety in his movement. Right around the corner here will be Hybrid, and he wasn't holding the angle as Quantic peeks it. Map point now for Rutgers. They have made it to their 5th round, and everything riding on it for NJIT to get back to that dominance they saw on map number 2.
NJIT really have their backs up against the wall here. Offense, talk about it, how difficult it is to win a round of offense on checkmate. You got to push through the plane. You really don't have a choice. And if you're Rutgers Black, you got to feel pretty comfortable right now, right? Just sit back, let things come to you, do what you've been doing all game, trust your teammates next to you to hold down your sight lines, and you should be able to close this one out here.
I'm saying, though, they need to pick this one up. We've seen before what giving up the momentum can do to a team that's up right here. Money G gonna barely manage to stay alive as he is dodging those Semtexes flying in on him. And in the early moments is a play by Zebus around the bottom of the map to pick one up. Next man might be Lox going up against Quantic at the top of the map, but he's still too focused on that angle, and neither man will see each other as JT picks up the kill off of that Semtex. 4v2 advantage. Rutgers hasn't been able to trade one back quite yet, and NJIT rushing in. Lox can't find it, though. Quantic with the hipfire spray going all the way over the top, finds that kill, and keeps his team's hopes alive. Is this going to be a Ninja? Sneaking to win the backside. No one's going to check it. No one's going to check it. It's going to be diffused. He wants to get it. There's the information, but there's not enough time. Right out from under their noses. Rutgers Black, in what a manner, pick up the final round and pick up the win.
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? Oh, I was just getting ready to say that Rutgers Black really, really needed to win it in that round. Obviously, they end up doing it, but if you're NJIT, that is going to be a hard one to watch back. You have to get those bomb checks. You have the life advantage. It's 3-2. You can throw a life away if you need to. Just check the bomb. You can't afford to let a ninja defuse happen, but I mean, you got to give credit to Rutgers Black. The presence of mind to jump on the bomb there and go for the defuse. He saw the players push away, didn't see anything. He said, why not? I'm going to go ahead and try it. We have the round advantage. We have one to lose if we really need to. It ends up paying off. Ninja defuse in game 5. That is one way to end the stream for the night. I can't believe what we just saw.
In a game that started with body sprays, executions, we talked about those plays that might just be getting heated, might be disrespect, to come through with the ultimate montage moment of classic COD and Ninja defuse the final round of the game. It just feels appropriate. And I believe, was that Luke Kane at the end as well? The mustache man himself. Just everything came together to a storybook ending right when it felt like NJIT might have gotten back into that map.
Yeah, such a great cherry on top of that series, really. We talk so much about the gunplay, the egos of both of these teams, the confidence you need to have to take a lot of these challenges. And in the end, it doesn't come down to gunplay really at all. It comes down to an alpha brain move by the player there on Rutgers Black to jump on the bomb and grab that ninja defuse. Just absolutely have to give him credit where it's due. Huge idea to do that, to go ahead in the final round and jump on the bomb, close it out before things got too tense. Didn't give NJIT any chance of getting back in the game, and just go ahead and close it out with a ninja defuse. That's one way to end the stream for the day. Really got to give credit to both teams, though. An incredible series from start to finish. Just when one team got the lead, fighting right back came the other. They kept it close the whole time, and it's just all you can ask for casters and for everybody watching for the CCL in week 2. Still more action to come, we know that, but that was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, but for tonight, that is going to wrap up the action. And for this week, that has been the end of week 2 here at the CCL 2021. Got to give the shout out to every team that played both today and yesterday. There's a lot of action on Alpha Stream, on Bravo Stream, and you guys in chat continuing to come through, support, watch, and just keep it rolling. Always a shout out to you, the producers, everyone behind the scenes. A lot goes into bringing this stream to you guys, and so you got to give the respect to it at the end of the night.
And don't forget, Morgan, I think we have a little something to say to close things
out. We got a hint of an announcement of an announcement. I just have been told, and we don't even know what this is about.
I wish I did.
A serious man dropped into the voice chat before we went live and said, just to let you guys know, keep an eye on the socials. That's all I gotta say. This upcoming week, keep an eye on the CCL social media. I certainly am, because I don't know what's gonna be coming through.
Yeah, I have no clue what's gonna happen. I don't think any of us do, so we're all on the edge of our seats. Just keep tuning in to the CCL and to all this action. Why wouldn't you anyway? But I mean, now even more reason to tune in next week.
Yeah, and With that, there's nothing left to say. So my name has been Morgan Dunn. I've been joined by the wonderful Camber. This has been week 2 of the CCL. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.